3, 2, 1.
It's the chunk, it's the chunk, the chunk podcast, the chunk with Justin, the podcast, it's the chunk.
Wow. That's, you get what you pay for, and that's that's the highest quality intro we could get right here. It's pretty awesome. It's the first episode. Listen, it's an honor to have you on here, by the way, and it's an honor for you as well to be a part of the first Chunk Chat podcast, and it's like a subcategory of the Chunk podcast. Not that you're a subcategory of a human. You deserve more, and I shouldn't. And I feel really bad. By the way, the human is Mr. Showtime David Scott, a comedian. If you don't know anything about him, go to damnilookgood.com and just click every single link. I think you get paid per click, right, on that website?
I have no idea.
I don't either. It's weird.
I have no idea how websites work.
I have like 2 websites, right? And everyone's like, man, obviously working in the media industry, you get all the lists or all the viewers and stuff like that go on the website. There's numbers and analytics. Not once did I see any of that digital stuff. And even with the 2 websites I currently own, unless you're monetizing it, which is a whole nother, it's a different beast and it's really strange. I don't know how to make money off of it. So I probably should look more into that.
I know that I still say go to www. And I know that I don't have to do that anymore.
Oh my goodness!
It's like that's how much I am in the know.
Yeah.
I learned how to spell analytics last Tuesday.
Oh.
So I thought, okay, now I know how to spell it. Now I got to figure out what it means.
There's not a better word, I think, in 2020 to just throw around casually and just sound like a genius than analytics. It really is.
Back in the 90s, the word was synergy.
Oh,
We're gonna
nice.
have synergy. We're going to have synergy. Now in 2020, it's like going, tell me about the analytics. Or 10 years ago, it was like going, what's the algorithm? What's the
Ooh.
algorithm say?
So
it seems like we have these buzzwords, synergy, algorithms, analytics.
Yeah. The algorithm I dealt with on a daily basis with like Facebook and like Instagram, trying to figure out how to be successful on those platforms. But yeah, analytics right now is so hot. It's a hot one for sure. And by the way, for people who don't know, we met way back in the day, earlier in my radio career. You trotted into the morning show that I was working for, and you stood out. You looked a little different than most.
You think?
Yeah, and I mean that in the best possible way. And over the years, you've came to town quite a bit, and we've kind of grown to know each other on cruises and stuff like that. I will say, you are one of my favorite. You know what? I think you are my favorite comedian we've ever had in, because we've actually kind of communicated outside those walls and kind of gotten to know each other. So I appreciate you coming on and hanging out.
It's very kind of you to say that. Thank you. It was always fun. You were always just I first met you about 8 years ago, right? I think it was about 8
it was
years ago.
pretty close. Yeah, I think it's
you had just you must have been maybe 6 months in when I first showed up.
Oh wow! I literally thought you were going to say 6 months old. I was waiting for the age joke.
Yeah, no. I mean, well, you're 17.
Yeah, there it is.
But you were not at the place for. It definitely wasn't a year, and you were. You'd already been established as you were the guy, but you had just kind of started there, and we just became friends. We became quick friends after then, and I remember we were talking about what you were doing. Even after the interview was over, we were kind of like hanging in the lobby, and you were like going, "I'm doing this." I'm like, "Oh, that's really cool," because that was two people just. Sometimes just hit it off with some people, and you and I just really just hit it off.
Yeah, it's cool. So. Obviously, getting that vibe for people. A lot of people came in, and you do your shows obviously at Mercurdi's Comedy Theater down in Sarasota. That's your hot spot, or the hotbed. That's where I first saw you, and that sounded really weird out of context. The hotbed where I first saw you. Saying that now is obviously very strange. But you do more than just Sarasota. You go all over the place. Where were you just at? You were just telling me. You were out and about.
I was just in. I was in Little Rock, Arkansas last week, which was I don't know. Sometimes I do these podcasts and they don't air for like a month later.
Oh, this one's gonna go right up because I have a lot of time on my hands, friend. Don't you worry about that. I got time, man. This is gonna go up probably later today.
Yeah, so February 5th through the 8th, last Wednesday through Saturday, I was in Little Rock, Arkansas. And the week before that, I was in Michigan.
Ooh, hey, we're out in
And
Michigan because I have to ask that because I used to live there when I was a wee lad, and I have a lot of family there. And anytime,
my guess is that you've never heard of it. I was actually in the UP
oh,
in Brimley. I was actually near Sault Ste. Marie. I actually could see the Canadian border.
Okay.
Where we were. I was at a casino. I do a lot of casino work, a lot of casino shows.
yeah, I do a lot of casino work too. It goes bad.
Yeah, that's not. It's wrong casino work.
Oh, okay. You actually get paid. You get paid. I lose money.
I get. Yeah, that's right. That's right. So we were up. We passed. I drove over the Mackinac Bridge, and got into Brimley, Michigan, which is right next to Sault Ste. Marie. And so I in Michigan, Little Rock. This week I'm in Wichita, Kansas.
Nice.
Then I had to. And then after this week, I head to Chicago.
Okay, so yeah, you're bouncing around quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
I've never been to the UP, and being from Michigan, everyone up there is just like, it's a beautiful place, it's awesome. The one goal I want to accomplish at some point in my life, and I have very low goals, but you'll realize that after the end of this, I want to go up there, I want to drive over the bridge, and then when I get over, I'll be like, man, that Mackinac Bridge is just one of the best bridges. I just want to call it the Mackinac Bridge to like the locals, just so I can get berated.
But the thing is that calling it the and I actually do these these weekly recap video vlogs.
Yes,
that
I've
are
seen
on,
them.
Yeah, and we actually went over the Mackinac Bridge, and we actually stopped and filmed me talking to the toll because it costs $4 to go over the bridge. Yes, I mean it's not cheap. I mean America is not free. So we go, and me and my buddy, my opener, was traveling with me. We're seeing signs that say Mackinac, Mackinac City, Mackinac. We're like, what is the name of this town? So we asked the toll lady, "Is this the Mackinac Bridge?" She's like, "Yes, it is." I go, "But why is it called Mackinac?" She goes, "Well, that's the French pronunciation." And I go, "Oh, so Mackinac in French is Mackinac."
So she was very polite about it?
Oh, she was awesome. She was great.
Man.
She was wonderful. It was obviously a question that she's been asked about 1,000,000 times.
Yeah, and I'm the the douche that's gonna go up there and be like, hey, so the Mackinac, huh? Like expecting to be corrected, and then no one's. I thought that was gonna be fun.
The funny thing about being up in the UP, and we were over the Mackinac Bridge, and then we were about another 30 miles past the Mackinac Bridge. Like I said, we were right on the UP Canadian border. I kid you not. We were so close to Canada, my phone actually thought we had traveled into Canada.
Oh my goodness.
I was getting international. Hey, you're in Canada now. $5 extra for text messages. I go, no, we're not. But we were so far north that the town of Brimley, we were leaving the town. We had to gas up, and we were actually in the gas station. And everybody knows it's a small town. This casino's in the middle of nowhere, and they get more people from Canada to visit the casino than they get from the United States.
Yeah.
So we're in this gas station, and everybody knows each other. And the guy goes, "So, Bill, where's Jerry today?" And the guy goes, "Jerry's going over the bridge today." As if that was like some sort of like massive trek, like he's visiting some foreign land. He's going over the bridge.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm like, that made me feel like we got to get out of here.
It's like a different world. Yeah,
it really is.
Oh my goodness, I'm excited. I have to make it up there eventually.
Yeah, me and my buddy were like going, "Why do people live up here?" And the only thing I could get in my mind was like, these are people who don't like people. I want to be as far away from anybody as I possibly can, but yet still be able to go to the gas station and get a corn dog. That they want to be it's such an odd situation.
It's like almost Alaska. It's like poor man's Alaska, right? Like instead of going through Canada all the way up there, you're like, this is about as detached as I could get from America, but still be in America and be cool.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. If you were in the South, it would be going to the Florida Keys. You want to still be in America, but you want to be away from America. The Keys is like, it's still America, but we're sort of separated. And the UP is like the frozen version of the Keys.
Okay.
Yeah,
it makes sense. You know what's weird though? I've been in Florida for 18 years. And granted, I wasn't going to do this traveling when I was 10, but I've never been to the Keys. Not once. I've never made it down there.
Well, you've got time on your hands now, brother.
Yeah, okay, I get it. I get it. I should be making these trips.
I don't know if we're allowed to say where you live because I don't want your fans to stalk you.
Oh, go for it, man. Yeah.
But where you live, there's a catamaran that takes a journey down to the Keys.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, you should do that.
I should look into that. I mean, I'm sure it's probably the best way to go as opposed to dealing with the traffic because you literally have to drive all the way down to the other end of the coast to get in.
Yeah.
And
you got to drive to Miami. You got to drive to Miami.
Yeah, no one wants to do that.
Oh, no. God, no. I did that for the cruise.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. I was there.
Yeah, take the catamaran. I mean, you've got to keep your wife happy. Just say, hey, we're going to a weekend. The Keys is glorious, by the way.
Yeah.
The Keys are lovely.
I've heard it's really nice. I don't know. It just seems tough to do things down there. I don't know why. It just seems like there's just like not a lot of space. I don't know. I need my space. There's not an easy way out either, which also bothers me. If something goes down, you got to go down like this little like funnel back up the same way. Oh yeah. That bothers me.
Once you're there, yeah. So you're claustrophobic.
I guess so. Yeah, it must be.
Then you must have been going nuts on the cruise ship. That must have been driving you insane.
One of my biggest fears, if not my biggest fear, is open water, right? And, and it is. I mean, granted, I don't have a lot of fears that like incapacitate me, but the idea of falling off a cruise ship out in the middle of the ocean is my worst nightmare. Like just watching the ship go away and just being like what is the open water? The movie Open Water terrified me. I don't like the concept of just being there alone with whatever's under you. You know what I mean? Like the ocean is just like I'd rather be shot out into outer space than just be there in the ocean like that.
Wow, because outer space is so much worse.
All right, I mean, it's just alone and like an abyss up there, but the ocean just terrifies me. I don't know why. I love whales; they're like my favorite animal, but I can't do the ocean, man. I don't know why.
It's a weird feeling being on a cruise ship because you're on this massive engineered marvel.
It makes no sense.
It's like this city with this floating city with showers and food and running water and entertainment and casinos, but yet you look out the window and you're so small compared to the vast emptiness around you. You're on this gigantic ship, but in reality, you're like a tiny drop in the middle of this vast ocean. It's very weird. It's very humbling to realize just how much space there is in the world, and you don't realize it until you're like, wow, there's nothing wrong. There are times like I will be driving, like you're in Little Rock, or if I'm driving to Wichita, Kansas, or I'm driving to New Mexico, where you're driving on the highway and it's dark. I mean, like true darkness.
Yeah.
No ambient light, no street lights, no city lights, no nothing. And you can see the sky and you see every star and you actually see shooting stars all the time because they light up because there's no other light reflecting off them. It's humbling. It really is.
The Earth is a fascinating place. But yes, the open water thing, like looking off and not seeing land, bothers me.
Yeah, one of my least favorite things to do in the world is go on cruises. It's like
for real. How many comedy tour things do you do on cruises? Do you do that often?
I used to do them years ago. The only time I go on cruises now is when I'm hired by a radio station or something.
Yeah.
I guess I've done like 30 of them. I know other comedians have done hundreds, but I did 3 cruises and realized I hate this.
So for you, like being an entertainer, I know that you're in like some weird quarters, right? Or you most of the time you don't get like a real cabin.
No, you don't. You're down in the crew quarters, which is under the ship, you're underwater. Your cabin is underwater. There's no windows. There's no light. There's no escape.
Oh my gosh! Is there at least internet? Something?
There's internet, but you have to pay for it.
What?
Yeah, the crew has to pay for their own internet. There's nothing free. Even the crew has to pay for internet.
That is depressing.
It really is. And the isolation of a cruise ship when I'm performing is just, I can't handle it. I just don't like it.
Yeah. So I would imagine that would be pretty lonely.
And when I do the radio cruises, that's obviously different because I'm not a member of the crew. I'm actually considered a guest. So I can socialize. I can do whatever I want.
That's pretty awesome. Have you ever, like, be honest, I won't tell any other like cruise lines, but have you ever actually socialized with guests when you weren't supposed to?
No, because Absolutely not, because you will. They are very strict.
Oh my goodness.
You're not allowed to go to the casino. You're not allowed to go to the restaurants. You can go to the buffet, but you can't go during peak hours. If they come up and talk to you, that's one thing, but you can't go talk to them. And entertainers that do socialize and are caught are immediately fired and they're kicked off the boat. And I'm being serious when I say kicked off the boat. They're kicked off the boat no matter what port they're at, and they're given a plane ticket to go home. And that's if you're in Nassau, if you're in Bermuda, if you're Turks and Caicos, wherever you are kicked off the boat. They do not. The liability is so high. They don't want you on that ship. They'll just get rid of you.
Who the hell do you talk to for the weeks on end while you're on the ship? Who do you talk to?
Other employees, other people that are employed by other entertainers, other people that are technically employed by the cruise line.
Yikes! I mean, I'm not, no offense to them. I'm sure they're great people, but yeah, I mean, that's obviously kind of
it's very isolating. As a comedian, I'm not on the cruise ship months on end like these other ones are.
Yeah.
I'm on the cruise ship for maybe 7 days most.
Okay.
But I'm also the comedian. I'm allowed to walk to and from the shows, and I'm allowed to walk on the ship and not be in like a uniform. And if someone comes up and talks to me, that's fine. Then we can have a conversation.
That's why you have that shirt that says, "Please God, ask me a question."
That's right.
Please God, please talk to me.
Please, the sky is black. Convince me otherwise.
Yeah. Excuse me, sir. I don't think so. Oh, thank God. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. So obviously you travel a lot. So I'm curious to see like obviously you do a lot of your work on the weekends, like most comedians do. Weekend to weekend, in a 1 week span, what's the farthest you've ever had to travel, like from one spot to another?
Well, I'm gonna correct you on one thing you said there, just so you understand, because I like talking about the nuts and bolts of the comedy industry. I don't work weekends. I work Wednesday through Saturday. Like Little Rock was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I'm not just doing Friday and Saturday shows. These are full week shows.
Okay,
now,
that's my fault. Recently, no. It is those. To be fair, my weekend starts on Monday.
Yeah, my weekend usually like today. We're talking on a Monday. This is like a Saturday to me.
Okay.
So, but the longest trip I've ever made from one point to another point was I had to go from Columbus, Ohio, where I did a private show on a Monday in Columbus, Ohio. Columbus to El Paso, Texas. It was right on the border of Juarez, Mexico, to give you how far south I had to go. So I had to go from Columbus, Ohio to El Paso, Texas.
And are you flying? Because I know you have a lot of equipment.
No, I drive.
Yes.
I drive everywhere.
Okay, that's what I figured.
It was 2 days. It was 1,900 miles.
Ooh, yikes. Okay, so then they obviously compensate you for mileage, right?
No.
I'm just kidding.
No, the IRS does.
Oh, yeah, there you go. That's good.
Yeah, my accountant says keep track of all your miles because you get a mileage deduction.
Okay. I should have been cashing in on that for years. What have I been doing, man? I blew it.
Yeah, you blew it. You could have gotten back a return and an actual substantial $18.
Hey, listen, that's like a week's pay for me. All right, it's damn good money. And I'll stop asking you questions about traveling because I don't know why I'm so hung up on this. I'm just fascinated with the day to day and like how you're moving around the country. What's the farthest west you've gone? Because with me, it's pathetic. Like I've only gone north and south, really on the eastern seaboard. The farthest west I've gone is like New Orleans.
Oh wow,
it's pretty pathetic, man.
Yeah, the farthest I've gone is west. I mean, Alaska is the farthest west I've gone, if you want to consider that west. I didn't drive that, but the farthest drive I went west was San Francisco.
Okay.
I've been to 49 of the 50 states, and the only state I've never been to is Hawaii.
Okay.
I performed in 40 of the 50 states. If you mention a state, I've been there.
Okay.
In some capacity. But as far as driving to a gig, well, I used to live in California, so you have to. For me, it'd be going west to east. And when I lived in California, the longest drive I made west to east was Upland, California, which is near Rancho Cucamonga, called the Inland Empire, and I drove east to Tampa, Florida.
Damn.
Yeah,
Like
so
straight shot? Obviously you have to stop at some point, but
Oh, that was a 2.5-day drive.
yikes.
Yeah, Texas never ended.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Is the longest state. It's like 11 hours to get through Texas. And when they say don't mess with Texas, I know what they mean, but I wouldn't want to because I just want to get through as fast as possible. I don't have time and stop and mess with Texans. I'm just going to just keep on driving.
Yeah.
And I don't understand Whataburger at all. People in Texas like Whataburger. I go, it's Whataburger, and this if you have listeners who know what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
Who like Whataburger. Whataburger is one of the worst hamburgers I've ever had in my entire life.
Damn!
It
Wow,
is
well,
so bad.
All right, sorry, they're out as a sponsor. Jeez, oh Pete's. We were just gonna go to a commercial break, but now I have to cancel it.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry. I'll send you the $15.
There's like a million burger places out there, man. It's like it's unbelievable. If I'm picking, I mean, I'm a big fan of Freddy's. I don't know if you ever had Freddy's. They're pretty solid.
Oh, sure, yeah.
That's
got
pretty
great
solid.
fries.
Oh, yeah.
Skinny fries.
I'm a
Yeah.
big fan of the Freddy. Okay, we don't
Yeah,
have to go off into the food tangent here. Real quick to wrap it up, you said you basically drove the entire length of the country. I've
Yes.
always wanted to, and it comes up every year right around the time the San Diego Comic-Con comes up.
Oh, sure, yeah.
I'm always with my friends. I'm like, it'd be real fun, guys. Let's rent an RV and we just take a trip, right? We just drive from Florida to San Diego, hit this Comic-Con, and come back. And on paper, it sounds like a wonderful idea. It sounds like it'd be just a great see the country trip. But the more I see, and especially stories like you driving through Texas, it's just kind of like a nauseatingly boring drive. Would you say that there's moments where it's kind of worth it? Like the first time you did it, were you like, oh, this is kind of cool?
God, yeah. First time I did it was beautiful.
Okay.
The first time you see the painted desert, or the first time you drive by Deadwood, South Dakota, or Mount Rushmore, or you see the Arizona Mesa Desert, it's stunning. The first time I drove into Las Vegas at night was the most amazing sight.
Yeah.
The first time I drove into New York, and you see the skyscrapers, you see the city skyline. It's awesome. I would absolutely. You could never get back that first experience. But to this day, I will only drive to Las Vegas if I know I'm going to arrive at night, because I love that view, because you're in the middle of nowhere. If you're coming from the west or you're coming from the east, doesn't matter which direction you're coming from, or the north or the south, it doesn't matter. There's nothing around Las Vegas. Nothing.
Has anyone ever seen Vegas in the daylight? Is that even a thing?
Well, yeah, it's not as exciting.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like that's like Clearwater.
Okay.
But when you drive in at night, it comes out of nowhere. Vegas is in a bowl.
Yeah.
It's not up high. It's actually in a sunken in bowl. So when you're driving, you don't see it because it's surrounded by mountains, or some type of natural structure. So you literally have to drive up, and then you go over like a mound, and then boom, there's Vegas.
That's pretty sweet.
And it's like this mecca. It's like just like whoa, and it never gets boring. It never gets boring.
I keep saying I'm going to go to Vegas, and I keep not going, but it's okay. I still have time, and I'll be saying that every year till I'm 60. I still have time. I can make it to Vegas.
I think everybody should go to Vegas once in their life.
Yeah.
At least once.
Everyone says what happens there stays there. All that nonsense. It gets weird and all that stuff. I've seen The Hangover, which it's pretty funny. The following 2 movies weren't as good, but whatever. I do want to go there. I think it'd be fun to just go there and see the sights. And from what I understand, there's a time limit. Like you go there and you should stay like max like 3 days, 4 days.
3 days.
Like a weekend.
No, don't go on the weekends.
No.
The weekend's the worst time to go. But leave on a Tuesday. Go there on a Tuesday. Leave, Thursday night.
Okay, just get
Friday or Friday morning. 3 days max. That's the Vegas.
It can get pretty exhausting from what I understand, and I've heard some weird stories.
It's sensory overload. You always hear about New York is a city that doesn't sleep. That's not true. Vegas never shuts down, because you have people who are coming in from Australia and South Korea and China and Japan and Saudi Arabia, and they're on a different time schedule.
Yeah.
And so they fly in. Vegas like going, hey, it's 8 o'clock at night, but for you, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. You absolutely can have breakfast, So it never stops. 4 o'clock in the morning when most people are sleeping, people from Australia are like, we own this town. And there are things to do at 4 o'clock in the morning in Las Vegas. There are shows, there are events, there are things that you can do because Vegas knows that this is a worldwide destination.
That's pretty sweet. Yeah, I'm gonna make it there eventually, and when I do, obviously, I'll reach out to you and let you know I made it.
Oh, sure.
I made it there, and I came back hopefully alive and without a tattoo or another wife.
Yeah, I'll tell you where not to go.
Okay, all right.
It's like when friends go to New Orleans, they go, okay, don't go here.
Yeah. Oh, it's weird. I don't want to offend anybody who likes New Orleans, but I was not a fan. I went there.
It smells weird.
Oh,
does it smell weird? It smells so bad.
It's very odd.
It smells so bad.
I came into it just so hyped. I was like, New Orleans, man, this is gonna be awesome. I've heard so many cool things. I can't wait to see everything. And in a matter of maybe a half hour, I felt like I had seen it all.
It's very small,
and it's
super,
a lot of the
super small.
A lot of the same stuff, man. It's like there wasn't much going on, and other than drinking, which I guess as somebody who doesn't really drink, it's not really. It wasn't really a place for me.
I don't drink either. So going to places that where their main selling point is drinking, that holds no interest to me. That's why, so it's like, I don't give a shit.
They're like, what do you mean, man? What do you mean? New Orleans is awesome, man. I got hammered there. And I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. I did have what are they, beignets? I did get the beignets, whatever you want to call them. Mackinac, whatever. It was, those are pretty sweet, and I'm glad we got those. But literally after I ate those, I was like, all right, we can go. We just went to the airport and left. Obviously, we had a flight, but we weren't in New Orleans for very long, and we probably wouldn't have stayed longer if we had the choice.
Yeah.
I'm glad we went, so I could at least say we went there. And it's pretty sad to me that that's the farthest west I've ever been. Even though I have family in Colorado, which I swear I'm going to visit sometime. I haven't seen them in years. I would love to go to Colorado and visit them, but I just haven't made it over there, and it makes me feel sad. I feel like I should just go. There's an airport 20 minutes away from me right now.
Yeah, pie.
Yeah, it's awesome. The airport's pretty sweet. You can get in and out of there pretty easily, and maybe I'll. You know what? I'm gonna look up flights right now. Stop everything we're doing.
Yeah, you still have the ability to check out the world and see things, and your wife is an adventurous person as well. So you guys got to, I'm fortunate in the fact that my career takes me around the world and takes me to great places that I would never be able to go to if I was like a CPA or a manager at Kohl's.
Oh, yeah. Hey, man.
So I consider myself lucky, and I understand that traveling is difficult for most people because they have jobs and families and commitments, and my job is to travel. So when you do travel, you got to pick the right places and places you're going to really enjoy.
Yeah, my wife Kristen, she's been to Europe twice already, and is like, we got to go to Europe. And I'm like, okay, well, you've already been, and I do want to go, but I was like, you kind of already been. Maybe we could do something different. But I do want to go to Europe, obviously, at some point. And there's a rule right now where it's before we settle down and start a family, we got to go to Europe. We're going to make it there eventually. And I still haven't figured out how. Have you ever been over to Europe? Have you ever been outside the country, outside of a cruise ship?
No.
Yeah, neither have I.
I have no interest in traveling to Europe.
Okay.
I don't. If I had a choice to go somewhere outside the country that wasn't I've been to Canada, which is Vancouver is gorgeous, Edmonton, Montreal, Quebec. Yeah. But the two places I want to go, one is currently on fire, and another place is in the middle of a coronavirus.
Okay.
So
yeah,
I really want to go to Australia.
I've
always wanted to go.
Feel the same
way.
I
always want to go. Yeah, Melbourne and Sydney, the Melbourne Opera House. I've always wanted to do that, and I've always wanted to go to Tokyo.
Dude, you literally have the exact same checklist as I do, and I'm not even kidding you. I swear to God, that's exactly what I wanted to do. I was like, those were two on my list. Outside of, obviously, Europe was one of the main things on our list of travel. We have a bucket list, travel list. And Australia and Tokyo, Japan. I don't even know why Tokyo, Japan. It just seems like it'd be a really cool, different culture. Obviously, everything's totally different over there, and I just want to see it and experience it. I think it'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah,
so.
I want to experience Tokyo the way people in Tokyo want to experience New York City.
Yeah.
I think people from around the world go to New York City to see Times Square and the excitement and the energy. I think I want to go to Tokyo to experience that kind of energy because I've been, I was born in New York. I'm a New Yorker, so
yeah.
when I took my daughter to New York for the very first time, she fell in love with the place. And we've gone back, and she loves NYC. But I want to go to Tokyo to feel what the energy is like of like an Eastern New York.
Yeah,
That, you know,
just
yeah.
that feeling of like, I mean, obviously people travel to New York all the time to get that feeling, to see like something totally foreign. Like that would just be different, to be totally out of your element and seeing things. It would just be a different feeling. I think Australia, I feel like would be different for other reasons. I feel like I'd kind of blend in there. I don't know, but just being in,
Yeah. You kind of look like you're Australian.
I could do it. I think but
I think you put yourself like a little pair of tan shorts and maybe some hiking boots.
That's it.
And get one of those floppy hats. They'd be like, oh, he's not.
I think
he's
I'd get
local.
beat up, right? That's like, I feel like that's some sort of cultural appropriation or something. I don't know, but no,
Just wear a Men at Work shirt.
Yeah,
you know,
oh.
you'd be fine.
that's it. That's all it takes. Oh my god, but that is really weird that you'd like have the same places I'd like to go. I mean, maybe we should just link up, man. We should just go together.
We should just go together. We'll just go together.
What are we doing, man? We're wasting a lot of time. Another cool thing about you, and I'm sure that I could go all day, man. Your hair, your outfits, they're fantastic. Guinness Book of World Records. This is another thing that fascinates me. My entire life, when I was younger, the little pop-up bookstores would happen at our school, and I'd have money from my parents to buy books. I would always buy a Guinness Book of World Records, like the actual book. Like every year, I'd get it, and I'd be like, look at all these cool records. I wanted to be in this, and I have done absolutely nothing to make any of that happen. Look, I'm just, eventually, maybe I'll find something attainable and go for it, or something within my wheelhouse that I feel like nowadays people are just doing like oddly specific things and just calling them up and being like, hey, man, I'm the first man to stand on the toilet rim with my left foot while also singing I don't know, Mariah Carey song.
Yeah.
If that's a record.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. That's kind of what's happened.
It's really
So
weird.
you're not
So, but
wrong.
you have the record right now, and as I'm reading this right off the record book, interwebs, longest stand-up comedy show by an individual at 40 hours and 8 minutes. I have a couple questions. First off, what was the prior record? Like when you saw, did you do any research?
38 hours and 6 minutes was the prior record.
Okay, so you crushed it by about 2 hours. Pretty solid.
Yeah, give or take.
Yeah, that's pretty solid. So my question to you is, when you're doing this, what were the stipulations? Like, I mean, obviously, I know that they always have like, you can only drink water once an hour. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you only get a bathroom break once a year. Like, how does that work?
Yeah, to set a legitimate Guinness Book of World Records, you actually have to petition Guinness to do it. You can't just do something and then call Guinness and say, hey, I did this. That's not how Guinness works. And that was the first thing we learned, is that we had to petition Guinness because we learned that someone actually, the whole thing started as a joke. I was in Chattanooga, Tennessee. The radio station does the 11 to 3 a.m. shift, broadcast live from the comedy club. It was very odd.
Yeah.
And they would interview the comics after they got off the stage, after the late show. And it was late show Saturday. I had just done like an hour and 12 minutes or something. And I was being interviewed, and the guy goes, man, that was the one of the longest show I've ever seen. What's the longest show you've ever done? And I go, I think about 2 hours. He goes, man, I can't imagine that you doing a 2-hour show. That's got to be the Guinness Book of World Records. And the guy goes, hey, look up the record for longest stand-up comedy show. And the guy goes, yeah, it's 38 hours and 6 minutes. And as a joke, I go, yeah, I could probably beat that. And word got out that I said I could beat it. And all of a sudden, we're like going, wait a second, we could actually do this. We could actually beat this record. And I actually put together a team, me and 3 other people. We put together this team, and we spent 6 months getting ready for this event. But the first 2 months was getting Guinness to approve it. We had petitioned them, telling them what we're going to do, how we're going to do it. And they sent back a rule book, and I kid you not,
oh my God,
that was 1.5 inches thick.
Yikes.
Of rules. And the rules were like, you have to have a minimum of 10 people in the audience at all times.
Oh my God.
You have to live stream the event the whole time. You've got to record the entire event. So you think, wait, how do you record at the time, how do you record over 38 hours of it? There's no VHS tape. How do you record? They go, that's not our concern.
Oh my God.
You have to find a way to record every second. And we figured all this stuff out. We actually
Yeah.
got a camera from Japan that had a hard drive that could record up to 48 hours of content.
Wow.
So we had to go to Japan and buy this camera. We had to go through an online server to stream the event. We chose to do it at a casino, and the casino was like, we'll always make sure there's 10 people in the audience, even if we have to have our employees come in and sit down. We'll pay them to sit down and watch it because the casino really wanted me to do it.
Yeah.
But the craziest rule for me personally was that you had to hold the microphone the entire time.
Oh my God.
You couldn't put the microphone in the mic stand. You couldn't wear a lapel mic. You couldn't wear a headphone mic. You had to hold the microphone
Holy crap.
entire time. And the rules were very, very convoluted because you were allowed to take a 5-minute break every 60 minutes to go to the bathroom or get something to eat or take a drink. But they didn't say if you had to continue to hold the microphone.
While you went to the bathroom?
Yeah. So what we decided to do is that we decided to use a wired mic. They wanted to use a wireless microphone, but I was concerned about that because I've got to hold the microphone. So we decided to use a wired mic. And what I would do is when I take my 5-minute break, I would unplug the microphone from the mic line.
Yeah.
But I would still be holding the microphone, and I'd walk off stage holding the microphone. And then I would do what I would do. I'd walk back on stage holding the microphone and plug it back in. So,
Wow.
but yeah, it was crazy.
That's unbelievable. Yeah, I thought you were going to start this saying, so we did beat the record, but we just didn't petition them. So then we had to do it again.
Yeah, well, that actually did happen.
You started it, and then someone's like, wait, you can't do that.
No. Someone claimed to have broken my record.
Oh.
A comic in Israel claimed to have done 44 hours and was on Israeli TV, blah, 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 blah. And I was hearing about this, and I was going to congratulate. I thought I'd hold this record if I hold this record for 1 year, I thought that would be cool.
Okay.
Being in the Guinness Book of World Records, holding a record for 1 year, that's legitimate.
Yeah.
Holding something for like 3 months, yeah. But 1 year, okay. Well, this was like 3 years. I've held a record now it's coming up on 7 years that I've held the record. But someone claimed that they had broken the record. And I was going to congratulate them because I thought records are meant to be broken. I broke somebody's record. If this guy broke the record, I was going to congratulate him. So I went online. I read the story. I went to Guinness, and Guinness would not recognize the record. And this guy was like going, I'm the Guinness World Record holder. He actually went on to, you can actually leave comments. If you go to GuinnessWorldRecords.com, you can leave comments. This guy was leaving comments on my thing saying, you're not the real record holder. I am, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, my God. That's
kind of... He was becoming kind of dickish about it.
Yeah.
So I started responding back, and I go, no, you're not. Just simply, no, you're not. And then I found out that he didn't do anything. He didn't petition Guinness. He didn't actually set the record the way Guinness has the rules set up.
Yeah.
He was using a lapel mic. He was repeating jokes every hour. One of the rules was you cannot repeat a joke.
Oh my gosh.
Until every 4 hours.
Okay.
On every 4 hours, you can repeat a joke. And he's like doing the same 30-minute set over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And so he didn't break the record. And then finally, one of his fans got into it with me online. I'm like, listen, until Guinness says he's the record holder, he's not. And they were like attacking me online.
Yeah.
And then I finally contacted this guy directly. I go, listen, dude, stop saying the Guinness World Record holder. I'm going to sue you. That's what I said. I just sent him a record. I just sent him and I wasn't going to sue him. How can an American sue an Israeli? He lives in Israel.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I'm going to sue you. And he stopped. And now you go to his website, there's no mention of him even being a comedian. More or less the Guinness World Record holder.
So you Karen'd him. You hit him with the Karen, which is what everyone's calling nowadays is the Karen. I'm going to sue you. But I know, it made sense. And in this instance, to be bothered for that long, and it
went on for a year. And I was like, listen, you guys are getting a lot more serious about this than I am. Because I mean, if you buy the new 2020 actual Guinness Book of World Records book, I'm in the book.
Oh,
Turn to page 80. Look at the very bottom. There I am.
That's awesome.
So clearly Guinness has made the decision. I'm the holder. You're not. And this guy was just, I was like, I'm just tired of, dealing with these people. So it finally got taken down, and all the comments were removed from the their website page.
Yeah.
So I was like, so it's pretty funny. But I had my defenders as well. My defenders were coming back at these guys.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
like
you
going,
did it.
"No."
You did it the right way. I mean, that's
Right.
if anybody who's trying to break a record, let this be a lesson to you. You have to berate Guinness for months on end until they show you some
Yeah.
attention.
Well, because Guinness, they actually charge you. It cost me $500 to set that record.
Doesn't somebody have to be out there, or was this just because it was recorded?
No,
They could go back and look at it.
If you want to have an adjudicator,
Okay.
that's like $5,000. Or we can go my way where we live streamed it, record everything, and then I sent everything in to Guinness and had to pay like $500 for them to watch it all and certify it.
Oh, my God.
It took about a month.
Imagine being the guy working at Guinness that's like, hey, man, what's on your plate today? Oh, I got to watch a 40-hour and 8-minute stand-up special or set.
Yeah.
It's like, here we go. That's pretty
Yeah.
awesome. I mean, I'm sure it was wildly entertaining, obviously.
The funny thing is I've got no memory of it. And I'm being dead serious about this. People ask me, what do I remember about the performance? I remember how I opened the show. I remember how I ended the show. I've got little flashes of things I did in the middle. I really cannot tell you what I did for about 39 of those hours on stage.
Yeah, at what
I've got
point?
No memory.
Yeah, I was
my
gonna
body
say,
just shut down.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you need sleep at some point, and like, I don't. Your body was probably sleeping while doing comedy at the same time. It was finding a way to get through all that. That's unbelievable.
Well, I actually own the videos. I have all 40 hours and 8
you
minutes.
have to
And it
upload
took
that
me-
to YouTube, I think, right?
Yeah,
That's like
well, it took me a year to actually bring myself to watch it.
Oh, my
Because it was actually not enjoyable for me. It was painful. It was painful. It wasn't about comedy. It was more about endurance than comedy.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense. And yeah, it would probably take another year for you to actually upload that to YouTube. Just that file alone would be just unbelievable. Yeah, that would be pretty ridiculous. So my question is, I mean, obviously you went, according to this, 8 minutes over 40 hours. So when you hit 40 hours, was it just like, I'm going to try? Like, I could see a 40 would be like a nice round number. You want to get to that? But after 8 minutes, you're just like, man, at what point do you decide to pull the plug? Like, was that a decision going in that you were like, I'm going to pass 40 and see?
No, we went as long as I went as long as I could go, and I wanted to end at a time when the audience, we had like 1,000 people watching online at one point, and we had like 200 or something, or 200, maybe 250 people live in the theater at the casino, and we had reached what I thought, this is as good as it's going to get, and I was physically in pain. My feet were killing. One of my left foot was swollen, so I got to the point where I'm going, I didn't know what time it was. There was a clock behind me. I actually still own
Were there
the clock.
windows? Obviously, there weren't windows or anything like that.
No, I actually still own. I'm actually looking at the clock that we used as the official timekeeper.
Oh my God!
It's actually hanging on my wall. I'm looking at it right now.
That's pretty sweet.
I got to the point where I'm going, I'm gonna do one last bit and I'm gonna say goodnight. And it was the marshmallow bit, the world's most dangerous bit in comedy.
You had the energy to do that?
Yeah, I had the energy to do that. And then I finished the bit. I throw the bag. I'm holding the microphone the whole time. I throw the bag into the audience. I go, ladies and gentlemen, I'm done. And I place the microphone on the floor, and the place just erupted.
Oh, my God.
That's how it ended.
Yeah, so I was wondering how it ended. I mean, obviously, I was waiting for some sort of like mic, drop the mic. I'm done. This is it. I'm sure you don't remember much after that. You probably just passed out at some point.
I remember my parents were there. My mom and dad came up to see it. So I talked to people. I was being interviewed by TV stations after I got done, because we did a couple of live interviews. I actually was doing live interviews, telling jokes live on ABC or CBS as we're doing it. Like I said, I remember how it ended. I remember I just said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm done. Because I'd actually wrapped the mic cord around my hand so I wouldn't accidentally drop it.
Yeah, I was going to say, just in case you dropped it.
So I unwrapped it and I go, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. I'm done. I just gently placed the microphone on the floor, and then the place just erupted. It was pretty cool.
That's awesome. Well, I'm happy for you, obviously, to be holding that for that long. And do you get like a plaque or something from Guinness, or how's that work? Do they send you?
I got a really cool certificate.
Okay.
I got a couple of pieces. I have them framed in my living room. I got a couple of really cool. I got an official letter from the president of Guinness saying, "Congratulations, you've made history." Blah blah blah. It's a really nice written letter, and then the official gold sealed certificate that they send you.
So the guy who you wound up, or gal, I don't know who it was, whoever you
was a
wound
guy.
up beating out, did he reach out or was he even
No.
alive? Like,
No, he's alive, but yeah,
Okay.
from what I understand, he was very pissed.
oh, yeah, I would imagine so. I mean,
Yeah.
anybody who has the
I
record.
wasn't doing it to take away his glory. I mean, I believe records are meant to be broken, and I fully expect sometime in the future someone to break my record. I check Guinness about once every 2 or 3 months to see if someone broke my record. I know of 7 comics who have tried to break my record and all have failed.
Oh, my goodness.
So I know people have tried to break it,
Yeah.
but no one's gotten there yet.
That's pretty impressive. If I had any comedy chops, man, I would be out there grinding for. I got that time, man. I can do it. I got 40 hours and 8 minutes.
It's so much harder than you think.
No,
man.
I know.
Someone said to me, if someone breaks your record, would you try to reclaim? I go, hell no.
Hell no.
I'll never do that again. Never, ever, ever, ever.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I get being upset that you're not the record holder anymore, but to be angry at someone for beating it, you know what I mean? To going through it, you know what they went through. Like you would be almost proud of somebody for doing that. I would
Right.
imagine that's pretty impressive. So I did a little more research on maybe records that would be attainable, and I found
Okay.
one that might relate to you, and it's the most marshmallows eaten in a minute. And I got to tell you, the current record's 25. You may have already broken this record without anybody knowing. I'm just saying.
Wow. Number of marshmallows eaten in a minute is 25?
25 eaten
Are
in
you
a
sure?
minute.
That seems awfully low.
It does. But there are rules that they have here. They have to be standard size, not the mini or giant, and you may only eat one at a time. So you have to literally eat one and then swallow it, and then eat another one and swallow it. So
That's interesting.
that's the
okay.
I mean, if it was just grab a
that's-
handful, throw them in, obviously it'd be a little
I would-
easier. but.
I'd already be the record holder.
Oh, for
so.
sure. Absolutely. That's why I thought. So now I'm thinking, I mean, that's like what, about 2.2 seconds per marshmallow to swallow. You'd have to like almost swallow them whole, right? There's no chewing involved.
You'd almost have to swallow them whole.
Which
yeah.
and they're dry on the outside. I don't.
It all depends. Actually, some marshmallows aren't. I've learned over the years that marshmallows are actually made differently. Like the Stay Puft marshmallows actually have a coating on them that makes them so they don't break up as fast.
Okay.
You know, like you put them in like hot chocolate, they don't just disintegrate. They actually stay solid. And there are some marshmallows that don't have that coating that as soon as you like put them in hot chocolate, they start disintegrating immediately.
Interesting.
Yeah, I actually found out that there are certain marshmallows that are really bad for me when I do the world's most dangerous bit in comedy.
Yeah.
Because they start like disintegrating in my mouth. And then, you're literally trying not to die.
Are you a fan of marshmallows? Like, do you eat
Hate
them
'em.
casually?
Hate
You
'em.
hate them.
Hate 'em so much.
Oh my god.
Oh my God, I hate marshmallows.
Wow.
With the fiery passion of 1,000 suns. Something 25. Now I'm actually kind of curious about trying it.
It really does
It
seem.
seems like it's doable.
Yeah, it's like I think the saltine record was 10 in a minute for saltines, but that is like, those things are like designed to dry your mouth out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that you're not allowed to drink anything
No.
between, it's got to
You're
be
not.
just straight. Yeah.
They're not. Even with this
Yeah,
marshmallow thing, there's no drinking allowed during any attempt. So
And
once
the thing about the marshmallows is that they fill you up very quickly.
yeah.
People don't realize how quick marshmallows fill you up. Yeah, now I'm actually kind of curious about trying that.
Yeah, see that's what I do is I'll go through Guinness and I'll be like, man, I'd like to give that one a shot, and then I just never do it. But that was one that I thought maybe would be in your wheelhouse, or at least maybe I eat marshmallows. I don't mind marshmallows. So maybe I'll go to the kitchen and I'll try a few.
Yeah, you should just try see how many marshmallows can you just eat in a minute without trying?
Yes, just
It's like,
casually.
I ate 10. All
mean,
right.
I'd probably be
I've got to
puking.
somehow figure out how to eat 15 more.
I would very likely be on the verge of throwing up after about 10. In under a minute, like I like to pace myself a little bit, or at least put them in some sort of, like you said, hot chocolate. But, to just before I let you go, obviously this it was supposed to be a chat, not a full on. I didn't want to hold you for this long, but I appreciate you hanging around.
I'm loving this, man. It's having a blast.
The chunk, it's kind of like this thing I built. It's sports, it's entertainment, it's gaming. It's way too.
Are we going to talk about John Jones and Reyes? Are we going to even talk about it?
Are you big into UFC?
No, but I follow sports really closely.
Okay. All right. Did you ever heard of?
And I saw the fight.
Okay. Was it very long? I don't even know.
25 minutes.
25 minutes. Okay, so it was a decent little slobber
Yeah,
knocker.
it went all 5 rounds, and I don't know why everybody thinks that fight was close. I thought Jones won the fight handily. So, but
I feel like every time, even if it's like not a knockout, but anytime it's decided by the officials, it's like they always. Somebody always thinks that they got it wrong. But you did watch the Super Bowl, obviously, right?
No,
You didn't watch the Super Bowl?
didn't watch 1 second of the Super Bowl.
Oh my
I was
goodness.
I was literally traveling.
Oh, I guess
was
that makes sense. Yeah.
I was Sunday was a travel day for me. I really didn't care about either team. I had no dog in the fight.
Yeah.
I mean, if you put a gun to my head, I was pulling for San Francisco. I thought San Francisco was the better team, and honestly, for 55 minutes they were the better team.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's the thing about obviously Kansas City. They could literally, they could score 20 like they did 21 points in like 6 minutes. Yeah, they're that kind of team. But yeah, I think they are the better team. They were all year long. But I did pick the 49ers. I just thought their defense was good. But anyway, so do you have like favorite sports teams, or are you just kind of like you just watch good games?
When I was younger, I used to follow players, not teams. I would follow a player like Charles Barkley. I was a big Charles Barkley fan. I followed him from Auburn to Philadelphia to Phoenix to Houston, but I was never like a fan of those teams per se. When I was a kid, I loved Lou Brock. I mean, that's probably a name you don't even remember.
I have no idea, sir.
He used to be he was a baseball player. He was the all-time steal leader before Ricky Henderson broke it. I loved Lou Brock. As a kid, loved Terry Swan of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Wanted to emulate those acrobatic catches that he would make. Huge fan of John McEnroe. I actually got a chance to meet John McEnroe and interview him.
What?
Yeah, back in '94, after an exhibition match with Mats Wilander, I got a chance to talk to him and interview him. It's awesome. So yeah, I like athletes. I don't like teams.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah, see, I'm like a Celtics fan. I don't know. I moved around a lot when I was a kid, so I just kind of took things from everywhere. So I'm a Celtics fan. I'm a Green Bay Packers fan. I am a Michigan Wolverines like college fan. It's really strange. I've got like ties to all those areas, and I've just kind of taken that in. But I do have a friend, a couple friends actually, that do follow players, but they're like it's not really following. It's like a cult following where like if the player beats my team, they'll talk trash, and I'm like, wait a minute. All right, you're gonna follow LeBron James around every basketball team, right? And then every time he wins, because he's the best player in the world, every time he wins, you're gonna talk crap. I don't know. That bothers me. But as long as you like truly appreciate the player and are like watching it because they get you involved in the game or the sport, I think that's cool. But if you're talking trash to other people because your favorite player is the best player, you know what I mean? I don't know. That's where it gets a little weird for me. I'm weird about like fanhood.
Yeah, you want to cause controversy. I think LeBron is one of the most overrated basketball players in history.
My God, hot take. That's a hot take. That's probably one of the hottest takes I think I've ever heard in my life. Look I get it. He's really good, and I went for the first
he's good. Oh,
he's first good. 10 years of his career, or maybe even 8 years of his career. He was obviously being a Celtics fan. I didn't like him. I didn't appreciate him. Now I'm to the point where it's like the end of his career. Right. I'm just appreciating everything he's done. He's been really good, and I'll give him.
Yeah, he's been good. He's been one of the top 10 basketball players of his in his time, but he can't win a championship unless he's got like 3 other all-stars around him.
Yeah, I look it.
Look how bad the Lakers were last year. Look how bad they were.
Yeah.
Now they get Anthony Davis. They got Kuzma. They got some all-stars, and all of a sudden, they're great. It's not because of LeBron. It's because of everybody else around LeBron.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis. LeBron could not win a championship until he hooked up with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh.
Yeah.
All right. Then he couldn't win a championship in Cleveland until he got Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love. And he couldn't win a championship in L.A. He still hasn't won yet.
Yeah.
But now he's got Anthony Davis. So,
I don't want you to put me in a position where I'm going to have to defend LeBron James because that's like one of my least favorite things to do.
But I'm not saying he's not a great player.
No.
I'm not saying he's not a great player. I'm just saying that to me, you look at the greats. They didn't need all-stars around them.
Yeah, it's tough. The NBA right now is really weird like that, where it's like everyone's a friend and they want to join up together and like they want
which I'm fine with, by the way. I'm totally fine with that. I am totally against, I think players should be making as much money as they possibly can. They should be teaming up. They should be forming super teams.
Yeah.
I am a big fan of that because I think owners have been taking a lot of credit. They all have money, so yeah, this is their team, it's their money. But I think it's finally time for the players to go, listen, they're coming to see me. They're not coming to see the owner of the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah.
No one's paying $400 to see the owner of the Milwaukee Bucks.
Well, unless it's Aaron Rodgers, which I believe he is like co-owner. Not co-owner. He's got like a share, I think, of the Milwaukee Bucks.
That's nonsense.
Yeah. It's like they got a bunch of money. They're like, let me get like a piece. So like I'm on the title.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers owns like 0.2% of the Milwaukee Bucks, but he's an owner.
The other categories, real quick, before we get out of here, movies. I don't want to say your all-time favorite movie. I hate when people ask me that because it's hard to just pick one. But like, if you had a few movies, like if you wanted to watch a movie, what were you going to pop in right now? You could pop in any movie to watch.
Probably movies you guys haven't heard about. Tremors with Kevin Bacon.
Oh, I've heard of it.
Real Genius with Val Kilmer. The original Ghostbusters, Little Shop of Horrors, Caddyshack, and Beetlejuice. Probably those 6.
Awesome. Yeah, you have the Beetlejuice suit still, right? Like don't you have his suit?
I've got like 3 of them.
That's awesome. So, how do you feel about like movie memorabilia? Do you have any of that? Like,
I'm looking at a copy of the second draft of the Beetlejuice movie signed by all the stars. It's hanging up on my wall right now. I'm looking right at it.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, so I do like movie memorabilia. I collect pop figures and figurines. Like I got all the Beetlejuice figurines. I got Kiss. I got Billy Idol. Got Rick and Morty. Got Darth Vader.
Nice.
I got South Park.
Yeah.
I've got all the Ghostbusters and Slimer. I have a 1984 original plastic Ghostbusters lunchbox with the thermos in the inside.
What?
Yeah.
Is that? Did you buy that after the fact, or was that from when you were a kid? Because there was a lot of things.
No, I bought that. That was found at a garage sale.
Oh, that's pretty sweet. Yeah, because there was a lot of things I had when I was a kid that when I got a full-time job and had a bunch of money, I was like, or things I wanted even as a kid, like video game stuff mostly, like an N64. Like I would just be like, I got kind of crazy when I got my first full-time job. I was like, I got all this money, man. I'm gonna buy the things I always wanted. And then when I did it, I was like, okay, I guess I should start saving this now. But but I did go out and buy stuff that like as a child you envied or you wanted as a kid and you never got. As if that was something, I don't know. Obviously it's a lunchbox, but when you were a kid, you probably saw somebody else with it that was like, that's pretty sweet.
Oh yeah, I mean it's one of those cool things. Like some of these things that I own, I actually owned when I was a kid and got rid of them, or they got destroyed, and I want to own them again.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I can totally relate.
I've turned my office into a place where when I come into, I enjoy sitting down and looking at all the things. And it's like all the things I collected over the years, and autographs and pictures and stuff like that, and just just memories.
That's
I went to see Kiss in concert with Andy, and we were sitting in a place where we were right by the giant confetti machine where they blow the confetti up into the air. We were literally right. It was right behind us.
Nice.
And and we were pretty close to where Paul Stanley comes out and flies into the audience. So, when the confetti goes off, I grab a whole bunch of the confetti, and I put it in my pocket, and I say the tickets. So I take the confetti, I take the ticket stubs, and I put them in a frame, and I put them on the wall.
Oh,
so
that's pretty
like,
sweet.
hey, this is the literal confetti from the Kiss concert.
That's awesome. My wife just did that with like a Jonas Brothers concert, which is not the same as Kiss. It's not the same as Kiss, but she went to a Jonas Brothers concert and grabbed the confetti.
So knowing your wife the way I know her, I can so see her going to a Jonas Brothers concert.
Yeah, she loved it.
That just seems like absolutely right up her alley.
Yes. Well, what's funny is we went to the Backstreet Boys concert in Orlando. And we went and checked that out. And I was cool with going to that because I was like, Backstreet Boys, they're throwback. I kind of grew up my sister listening to Backstreet Boys all the time. I was kind of in that wheelhouse. I get it. The Jonas Brothers, though, I was like, nah, you're going to have to find a friend for that one. I wasn't... you probably should go with somebody who might appreciate it. You have fun at the Jonas Brothers concert.
Yeah.
And she did.
You don't want this 6'4" guy just sitting down in the chair next to you.
Yeah, it was weird for me. I didn't mind, hanging out, rolling video on the Backstreet Boys, it still sounds weird saying it, but they were actually pretty good. They held together nicely, I guess I should say. So they're good. But the Jonas Brothers, she did the same thing though. There's like a pile of confetti on her dresser that still falls on the floor. Like there's no organization. They probably should be put in like a baggie or something. But every day I'm like, what's going on with this? Like, are we gonna do something with this? So
don't you touch it! Don't you touch it!
Yeah. I was like, I don't know what you want me to do with this. So I guess I should let her know. get the ticket stubs, find a frame, put it in there, enjoy this memory. Please get it off my dresser. That's probably the best way to go about it. But I will say, the Chunk Podcast Network. I'm trying to build a little baby network of podcasts because this is obviously too broad of a spectrum, just trying to cover, video games, sports, and entertainment. So I'm going for a couple other podcasts, one of which is called the Movie Propcast. And it will be, and I've actually recorded one already almost a year ago, and I haven't finished or decided where I'm going to post it. But I'll have to bring you back on for something like that. Basically, it is we watch a movie, right? Not together, or unless you want to. I mean, we can meet up and watch a movie. That's fine. But we watch a movie, and then afterwards we talk about the movie, and we discuss the movie props that you would most like to own from that movie, like the most iconic props from the movie.
Yeah,
and
that's cool.
Yeah, I'm going to start doing more of that. Obviously, like I said, I got a lot more time on my hands now recently.
Like I said, when I come back to Sarasota in that area, I'll be there a couple days beforehand, a couple days afterwards. We can get together. We can sit down and watch a movie and have a conversation.
All right, man.
So
I'm down to clown.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you coming on. Obviously, we need to give you some social media shout outs. Your website obviously we haven't done that once, man.
Well,
Damn it.
actually, the website, I've got a couple different websites, but the one is alwaysaskformore.com.
Oh.
And that links in with damilookgood.com.
Damilookgood.com.
But always ask for more. I'm currently on the Always Ask for More tour.
Yeah.
That started in January, so that's what I'm doing right now. And social media, as you know, because we've had this conversation.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how to use Instagram.
You're getting better, man. You're getting better. I see you working out there, using the IGTV a lot. I'm a big fan of the IGTV extended videos.
I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to get people to use it. I'm finally using the IG stories.
Yeah.
I seem to get more views. Like if I post something on my feed, it gets like 25 likes. But if I post something on the stories, it gets like 125.
It goes out. I mean, everybody can see it. The feed is a different beast. When the stories just sit at the top, and people can just thumb through them real quick. They get a lot more exposure, definitely that way. So.
Yeah. So if any of your followers, it's at I am Mr. Showtime David Scott, and Facebook is at I am Mr. Showtime.
So check it out. Give them a like. Hit them with the follow, and obviously you can follow the Chunk at the Chunk Pod on pretty much any social media that's out there.
And I'm also on YouTube, but that's always the YouTube is always ask for more.
Okay.
And I just posted a video like 2 days ago, and it's got 0 views. So
yeah, YouTube is such a strange beast, dude.
I hate it.
It's
It's
so fascinating that they're getting like a babillion uploads a day, and I understand it. It's so tough to obviously this is kind of inside YouTube, but when you upload videos, there's keywords, there's all these different things, and like we said, one of the hot words from the beginning of this podcast, there's a weird algorithm that I just haven't figured out yet with YouTube. And I guess it's just throw your crap up and hope somebody finds it.
Yeah,
is really the way to go about it.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's been good talking to you, man. It's always a pleasure. I'm glad you were able to do this, and we should definitely do this more in the future. We'll be in touch for sure.
That'll be a lot of fun. It was a great time. Thank you.
I appreciate you. You obviously played us in. I don't want to ask for too much, but I'd like to ask for more. You said, man.
You want the outro song?
If I could get a little outro for us, I think it'd be perfect.
All right, hang on.
All right, man.
Give me a countdown. Give me a 3, 2, 1.
All right, man. Let's do this in 3, 2, 1.
That was the Chunk. Yeah, that was the Chunk. Yeah, that was the Chunk with Justin. Yeah, that was the Chunk. That was the Chunk. We just got chunked with Justin.
All right, we should get out of here, man.